Okay, everyone, welcome back. My name is Callie, and I live in Korea, and I like to talk about books and other stuff, but mostly books. It's my life. I work with books. I read books. That's all I do. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about. I picked up some books today from work, so I want to talk about those, and then I also want to talk about a few of my TBR that are on my TBR list. I'm not gonna go into huge detail. I'm just gonna run through them to maybe hold myself accountable. Actually, most of my TBR I keep. Obviously, I have a lot of books here, but I keep my TBR right behind my head, behind my bed. Does it actually motivate me to read them? Sometimes, because it's the first thing that I see, so I usually gravitate towards it. But other times, it just kind of stresses me out. But there's a stack of about right now, which I'm not going to talk about the ones that are sitting here, but right now there's a stack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 behind my head, and I'm only going to be talking about 5 or 6 that are actually on my top 10 TBR, and then there's an underneath. Don't ask my husband about these books, it stresses him out every time. Okay, so first I'm talking about what I picked up today at work. First, I got Roadkill by Emil and translated by Arcana Madhaven, I think. So I'll kind of read a little excerpt from it. We had always been rare and mysterious creatures. We'd been taught this ever since we were children. In a near future where women are an endangered minority, 2 young friends tried to break free from a facility designed for those few who can still give birth. Every year in a secluded seaside village, a maiden is sacrificed to a divine sea serpent. Elsewhere, the last female shaman of an indigenous tribe tells her stories to a visiting research team. And in South Korea's Alps, Grand Park, the residents exist in an exclusive world dominated by giant air purifier towers, as others are left to live in the shade. The women in these stories find themselves trapped by circumstance, society, or tradition as they fight for a means of escape. This sweeping and submersive collection celebrates their strength and their courage, their desire for independence and self-expression. This is a translated work, K-literature, K-lit artist, or K-lit book. We have so many K-lit books, and so this would have been going out like crazy. I think it's fairly new. Yeah. But it had been going out like crazy, and I was like, oh, maybe I have to try it. It sounds so interesting and looks so cool, so I got this one. Next one I got, these 2 are very random. I did not plan on getting these, but we had filmed some stuff with the Penguin Archives, and I'm always up there looking around, and I just, honestly, it just caught my eye, and I just both of these, and then one of them caught my eye, one of them was recommended to me by my coworker, so the first one I got was Christina Rossetti's To Read and Dream. It's a book of poetry and little ones. I'll try to choose a short one I can read it. On Keats. A garden in a garden, a green spot, where all is green, most fitting slumber place. For the strong man grown weary of a race, soon over. Unto him a goodly lot hath fallen in fertile ground. Their thorns are not, but his own daisies, silent, full of grace. Surely hath shed a quiet on his face. His earth is but sweet leaves that fall and rot. What was his record of himself ere he went from us? Here lies one whose name was writ in water while the chilly shadows flit. Of sweet St. Agnes's Eve while Basil springs, his name in every humble heart that sings, shall be a fountain of love, verily. I don't know, I read a few of these poems kind of randomly, and every one I was kind of like, oh, I am trying to get into poetry in 2026. I last year read my friend Nathan's poetry book, and it's amazing, and I was just kind of like, oh, I didn't know poems could be like this. So I'm trying to do a few more. Next one was my coworker's recommendation, How I Came to Know Fish by Ota Pavel. I'll read the back because I honestly have no idea. She recommended it and I trust her with my life, so I just grabbed it. Of all the sleep a man can have, the fisherman's sleep is the sweetest. It is the greatest of luxuries, sleep and fishing. Through tender, vivid, and often humorous recollections, from magical fishing trips to the rivers and ponds of Busterad, to his charismatic father's bold business adventures, Pavel's enchanting, bittersweet memoir tells the story of a childhood in Czechoslovakia against the backdrop of the Second World War. So aren't these gorgeous? The archive classics are so, like, I have another one here. They're so simple, but like, there's just something about them that I think is so, I love these. Okay. Next, I'm going to be talking about my TBR, but it's my TBR that's like actually like my top, please, please, I'm begging you, please read these books. Not you, I'm begging myself. Please, to me, please read these books because you've bought them and we need to read them. First is Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. I think that's right. Honestly, this book is, everyone's read it. I just haven't, and I need to. There's really not much else. I'm hoping this will make me do it. I'll read. Cyrus Shams is a young man grappling with an inheritance of violence and loss. His mother's plane was shot down over the skies of the Persian Gulf in a senseless accident, and his father's life in America was circumscribed by his work killing chickens at a factory farm in the Midwest. Cyrus is a drunk, an addict, and a poet whose obsession with martyrs leads him to examine the mysteries of his past, toward an uncle who rode through Iranian battlefields dressed as the angel of death to inspire and comfort the dying, and toward his mother through a painting discovered in a Brooklyn art gallery that suggests she may not have been who or what she's seen. Kaveh Akbar's Martyr is a... What is this word? Paean? Paean. I'm going to Google that later. To how we spend our lives seeking meaning in faith, art, ourselves, and others. Everyone loves it, so I'm going to do it. I need to do it. Okay, next is probably what I'm going to be reading first on my TBR because I've been waiting to read this, but I've honestly been waiting to read this because it's a bit late, but I really wanted to make actually maybe like a read with me style video about it. And so I've been kind of waiting because I think it's going to be one of my top books of the year, honestly. Hamnet, Maggie O'Farrell. On a summer's day in 1596, a young girl in Stratford upon Avon takes to her bed with a sudden fever. Her twin brother Hamnet searches everywhere for help. Why is nobody at home? Their mother Agnes is over a mile away in the garden where she grows medicinal herbs. Their father is working in London. Neither parent knows that Hamnet will not survive the week. Hamnet is a novel inspired by the son of a famous playwright, a boy whose life has been all but forgotten, but whose name was given to one of the most celebrated plays ever written. Obviously, the movie just came out. Obviously, this is one of the top books of this last year. I'm gonna do it. I know it's gonna really, I know I'm gonna cry, but I have to. So anyway, this is probably my 100% next. Once I get through all the books I'm like meant to be reading, this is my next one. Next, so these are 3 books that are completely on the other side of like what I normally read. I guess I could talk about it now. I'm sort of in the process just with all the stuff that's going on in the world. Like, it's very hard living abroad and feeling like you can't do anything. Because honestly, you can't. And, it's a hard feeling to feel that way. Like, and I've just kind of been going through this thing of like, the best thing that I can do for myself is obviously speak out about issues, but be educated about issues and know about things and not just what I'm seeing online, but learn about these things that are going on and why they're going on and et cetera, et cetera. So I've really been I've been kind of brainstorming with some friends and thinking about starting like a little book club that's sort of social justice style nonfiction books, maybe some fiction, but mostly nonfiction kind of books. And we're kind of doing one this month. We're going to start it. We're actually starting with Once I have it on my Kindle. I just downloaded it. So this is current reading Once I Was You by Maria Hinojosa. Hey guys, I'm sorry I speak Korean. I don't really speak Spanish. But it's a memoir, and it's about her, a Mexican woman growing up in the States. So yeah, so we're gonna like read it, and I actually just started using Fable, which I'd never used before. I'll link my Fable if anyone's interested, or if anyone wants to join. It's not just like a strictly in-person book club. I think it might become that, so if you are in Seoul and interested, we might end up doing that at some point. But yeah, I mean, we're mainly focusing on nonfiction, these sort of memoirs, what we can do with that knowledge. And knowledge is power, and knowing about issues and knowing what's going on in the world gives you power. So these are the books that are in that sort of TBR genre, TBR shelf. First, I got this from work. It was the last one, and I erased it and I got it. The Myth of American Idealism by Noam Chomsky and Nathan J. Robinson. Yeah, I just saw it and I was kind of like, ooh, but I'll read it. A sharp indictment, whoa, a sharp indictment of both American foreign policy and the national myths that support it, and an urgent warning of the threat that U.S. power poses to humanity's future. It's a comprehensive introduction to the incisive critiques of U.S. power that have made Noah Chomsky one of the most widely known public intellectuals of all time, surveying the history of U.S. military and economic activity around the world. Chomsky and co-author Nathan J. Robinson vividly trace the way the American pursuit of global domination has wrought havoc in country after country. So that's one. These two I got from Amazon. And I actually just finished, which I'll talk about maybe in my February books, on tyranny. It's over there. I'm not gonna grab it, but that was another one that I got in this set, but it's so small that I kind of just went through it really quick. But anyway, so next one, How Fascism Works, The Politics of Us and Them by Jason Stanley. As a scholar of philosophy and propaganda and the child of refugees in World War II Europe, Jason Stanley had a deep understanding that democratic societies, including the United States, can be vulnerable to fascism. In How Fascism Works, he focuses on the fascist politics, the language and beliefs that separate people into an us and a them. Stanley knits together reflections on history, philosophy, sociology, and critical race theory with stories from contemporary Hungary, Poland, India, Myanmar, and the United States, among other nations, making clear the immense dangers of what he identifies as the 10 pillars of fascist politics. By uncovering disturbing patterns that are as prevalent today as ever, Stanley reveals the stuff of politics, rhetoric, and myth can become policy and reality all too quickly. Only by recognizing them, he argues, can we begin to resist their harmful effects and return to democratic ideals. Next one, last one. Erasing History, How Fascists rewrite the past to control the future. This is also Jason Stanley. How did I just realize that? Anyway, so I got two from the same author. The human race finds itself again under a threat of a rising global fascist movement. In the United States, democracy is under attack by an authoritarian movement that has found fertile ground among the country's conservative politicians and voters, but similar movements have found homes in the hearts and minds of people all across the globe. To understand the shape, form, and stakes of this assault, we must go back to extract lessons from our past. There's more, but I'm not going to read it still. Okay, so yeah, those are all of my small haul and my TBR. There's so many more, obviously, but yeah, if you have read any of these or are reading some, please let me know and what you thought. And if you live in Seoul and want to join my book club that hasn't officially started, please also let me know. And yeah, I think, honestly, this is a really random one. I'm just kind of filming things as like they come to me, but I'm definitely going to be doing more of a vlog thing, hopefully this weekend, and I'm still working on my editing, and I can't figure out what, that's a process to figure out how I want to edit, how I want to also I'm still trying to figure out where to film. This is not my favorite filming space because it is so dark and but I don't really have any, I can only really film at night, and I just don't have any, maybe I need to buy a light. I don't really have any good space to film, but we're figuring it out as we go. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed and commented. It's very sweet. I feel very loved. I hope you'll have a good day, and I hope you read whatever you want and enjoy it. And I'm begging you, read a book. People can't read anymore. Just You go buy one. Go do it. Go borrow one. Go to the library. Oh. You guys, go to the library. Go read a book. Run. Okay. Bye all. I'll see you later.